Juggalos are more than fans. They're family, bound by loyalty and defiance. Here in the Northeast, that fierce spirit carves its own path and ready to be heard.
My name is Maximilian Young. I'm a 39-year-old Jewish man who was born in New York City, lives in Massachusetts. And I'm a Juggalo rapper. And that's always what I'm gonna be. I feel like Juggalos have always existed. I just don't think that that's what we were called. I think that people like Juggalos have always existed. And it wasn't until Insane Clown Posse started making music that we were able to find each other.
Coming from that broken home situation and the relation to the music, to me, it just kind of took me over in a way, like, you know, there's something about this that I can't put my finger on just yet, but I love it.
Well, first I was drawn to the music. I lived, you know, not the greatest life, the whole broken home thing. So ICP really drew you in at that point. And then really what kept me here was the Juggalos, meeting just people from all over the country, some from around the world.
My name is Alejandro. I'm Juggalo like 20 years of my life. In my country you need to figure out, but when I try to figure out about the more bands and discover those guys painting the face like a crazy, say, oh my God, what is that? My mind is blown. Dark Carnival, I feel this magic, I feel this energy. Is something I can describe with words.
I learned more about the nature of God at an Insane Clown Posse show than I ever learned in a synagogue, and I swear that that's true.
Listening to Shangri-La as a kid and like getting consumed by the Dark Carnival and like everything, like the lore, just everything about them just like changed my entire life.
I believe that there's a religious side to it, so I gravitate very heavily on the religious songs that have like the underlining meanings and whatnot. And of course I love ICP's like goofy, just fuck around songs, but like the religious ones are what really hit me. And then like going forward, like Juggalo Island really connected me with the Juggalos and the love. It was just a way to show like we're basically living in bliss when we're with our families, and like the outside world doesn't matter.
My best friends, my career, my girlfriend, like everything good in my life comes from being a Juggalo. And that day going with my aunt to Specs Music and buying Shangri-La changed my entire existence. Like I wouldn't be alive without this. Like I'm about to open up for ICP's Tunnel of Love show at Juggalo Weekend at the fucking Palladium, one of the most legendary Juggalo venues of all time.
Anybody in this entire area will tell you the Palladium is like the New England Juggalo home.
This is the place to be when it comes to watching ICP.
Worcester has had this really, really strong scene for a long time. Like, Worcester is one of the first cities that ICP ever came to, because, you know, again, Worcester actually reminds me a lot of Detroit, just like Detroit reminds me a lot of Pittsburgh, a lot of Cleveland, you know, like these middle American cities. And Worcester being one of the first ones that they started going to, they immediately caught on. Juggalos would do their own shows to basically tide themselves over until the next big show came to town or until it was time for the gathering. And that also became part of the culture too.
D-Loco even, for a few years, he would kind of piggyback and make it a Juggalo weekend in its own way, kind of, right? Where it would be like, I remember one year, and I think it happened a couple times like this, and I don't know if it was serendipity, Juggalo magic, or actual, you know, planning, but it would be like a Twisted show on Friday and then a Hightown show on Sunday. So everybody would just stay the weekend and, you know, have our own little, you know, do things that make this town what it is now in Juggalo lore, essentially. We all started doing our own shows at the Worcester Palladium in around 2012 and opening up for psychopathic acts and stuff like that. And it wouldn't have even been a possibility without the foundation of these Palladium shows to really seed ourselves into everybody and around people supported enough to give us a chance.
Well, basically what happened with all those shows, that's how we all connected. And so we had all these hip hop shows, but we would also go to these Insane Clown Posse shows or anything, wicked shit, really, Twisted, any of these shows. And basically our core group just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So then it wasn't just ICP shows. Now you got after parties, like let's say tonight. You have after parties, or you know, we'll do a show fucking down the street at Tammany Hall, for instance. So Tammany, fucking classic, legendary place. Place is fucking awesome. I lost a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in that place, literally. You know, which is pretty dope watching the evolution of that, by the way. To going from like actually being an outcast and Juggalo, you know, not to jump into it, but it was almost like a different thing back then. Like Juggalo is Juggalo. Nothing's changed. Just the people that have found the music have changed, because that's time. Time does that to people. I've watched all the generations, you know. But I guess what I'm trying to say is back then it was a lot more, it wasn't as popular. So you being a Juggalo, you could get your fucking ass kicked. You know what I mean? So that was the mentality.
The homie, you know, Davio Trill is a giant, like almost like the pointed mascot, right, of like what the next generation Juggalos are, what it is.
If he goes viral enough and he really is able to like hit that main vein, that could absolutely bring some shit back. I ardently believe that.
There's people that have like my lyrics tattooed to them. There's people that have like come up to me or message me saying like your music saved my life or helped me kick shit. Cause like I'm not a perfect person. Like I've had my issues with drugs in the past, but I've been sober from like hard drugs and shit. Like I'll drink or like smoke a little weed or whatever, but I'm not the person I was fucking 10, 15 years ago or whatever, you know? And so when people can see through, like see what I'm saying, like I'm not glorifying drugs. Like I'm talking about how being an addict is like one of the most wicked things that can happen to a person. That will completely tear you apart. And for me to play any part in someone getting clean or bettering their life or like staying on this planet, like I can't even describe the feeling inside that I get when that happens, because I never thought that would happen. And you always hear about it, but it's always like, you know, ICP saved my life. Like, who the fuck am I? You know, because at the end of the day, I am just another Juggalo. I'm just another Juggalo who fucking worked his ass off to get to where I'm at. I'm just as grateful for them as they are for me.
I am always going to be a Juggalo, whether I like it or not. I'm as much a Juggalo as I am a Jew. I don't know exactly why that's a true sentence, but it is. Like, I met the person who introduced me to Insane Clown Posse in Hebrew school, and my grandfather survived the Holocaust. So that means that my grandfather survived the Holocaust so I could become a Juggalo. That's a crazy thought, but it's a true statement.
This is their voice, and the story is just beginning.